CRYCat. See who he is. If you're lucky, only the sick will come to save your guilt. Hear the truth, accept being alone. The truth is to tear down those walls you've built. If you're lucky, you fall into sickness. This sickness has something to gain. The sickness they too contain. This world feeds on the realness, the realness, the realness, the realness, the realness. Is stronger. Our weaknesses, compassion. Eternity, eternity, to eternity, magical, sacred harmony, positive power, infinite connection, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, reflection. All right, so today and yesterday, yesterday was 2, 9 is 2. Okay, so I gotta explain myself, right? So 9 and 2 is 11 is 2, right? So 2, 9 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 0 is 4. 2 and 4 is 6. 6 and 6 is 12. Yesterday. Added up to 3 by way of 12. Apparently 12 is a woe is me number. So dark before the dawn. 9. Positive and vertigo. 3 is magic. I leave you with a little bit of verbiage as to why 3 is magic, you know, and the power of the first pattern, and how from that pattern, if inside those patterns you can get 5 different formulas, and thereby creating a harmony, and why harmony is 5 is harmony. So just sort of, again, relating to all things considered and inside of, depending on. And so today, 2 and 10 is 12 is 3. 3 and 4, or 3 and 2 is 5. 4 and 5 is 9. 9 and 6. I gotta do that again. Wait, hang on. 2 and 10 is 3. 3 and 2 is 5. 5 and 2 is 7. 7 and 6 is 13 is 4. This is not adding up. Call out the book. We need the book. All right, so anyways, they calculated it to be 21 today. And so I want to try and force that number. But in forcing that number, it's gonna come back to us. Okay, so 10, 2 and 10. All right, so at this point we're gonna do it like they do it, for the sake of getting the 21. My point is to show you that yesterday was 12, today is 21, and so reflection, the 1-2-1-2 effect, or 1-2-2-1 effect. Okay, so I'm trying to show that aspect in the reading, and why 10, I call it reflection. Okay, so 2 and 10 is 12 plus 2. Or, the plus the 2026. Let's do the 2026 is 4 and 6. And 4 and 6 is 10. So 10 and 12 equals, I still get 4. Yeah, the whole way around it, I get 4. Every which way I do it. So I don't know why they were trying to tell me it was 21 today. It's interesting. Today is the 1-2-1. Let me see. 10. 10 and 10 is 20. Is 22. Every way, which way I get it. And the only time I see a 21 is the 2 and 10 is 2-1. And so that's 21. So my whole shit is blown out of water, and everything that I put precognizant of this particular time in my film is off, because today is 4, which is sacred. Okay, so yesterday was 3 in magic, so all of that shit that I put on was for yesterday. So this is going to be, I'm going to post that as its own little, and today is a 4, which is sacred. And I'm trying to relate that to the chakras and the life path. Okay, so yesterday was the 3, so all the magic and all of the positiveness of optimism and all that stuff that that you'll see in my first post, and then transitioning into today as a day of 4 sacred, and also representing the heart chakra. And, you know, quite frankly, I don't want to do, you know, all of the cut and paste and pictures that I already did for 3. So, but I'm going to start doing a formula like that, where I'm just, you know, Google AI, you know, because it's the quickest, and I just kind of just go, hey, you know, what's the day's date, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So it wanted to tell me that today was adding up to 21 equaling 3. So I had this whole preconceived notion about it. Okay, so I'm just going to do this math one more time again. I got 2 eternity, 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 2 eternity, eternity, 2 eternity, positive equals sacred. All right, so you understand that? That's how I read the numbers. If I'm reading the numbers in verbiage vibration, soundbite vibration, 2 eternity, 2 plus 10 is 13, or 12 is 3, I'm sorry. God, I'm really doing it today, ain't I? Okay, 2 and 10 is 3, okay? And 10, 2026. That's coming at end. Man, 2 and 10 is 3, plus 10 is 13 equals 4. 14. 3 and 1 and 3. All right. One and 3 is eternity, and magic equals sacred. So let's look at magic for a moment, and why sacred comes after magic, and why 4 is sacred. Okay, because the founding elements that create life, held together by space, the 5th element. You know, you need that foundation first, and that foundation comes through honoring fire, water, earth, north, south, east, west, you know, water, air. All of these things must be inside of every living thing in order to create life. That is why 4 is sacred. Okay. From space comes a consciousness, and from that consciousness creates life, and from that life then we have the 4 elements, including space, to fit. So how 3 becomes 4, and then 5, and then becomes 5. So just kind of noting that. And in the post that I post before this, you'll see that in this, I give this book by Dr. Ladd, and we talk of the, you know, and then you've seen that post where all the elements come into shape within. Okay, and so each chakra has a relationship to these seats of Kapha, Pitta, Vata, associations, elemental associations, and things like that within a scope or frequency, a center of, we call it the seed. So, I mean, I'm just giving you a basic overall lesson of why I read the way that I read. And as always, you know, it's because I have taken some discernment and decided that I can mimic everything that's written. That's why I kind of show you the written stuff first to qualify my thought process. Because, or I can interpret it how I want to interpret it. You can interpret it how you want to interpret it. Right? So, just sort of having a notion that today is a sacred day. So today is a day of honoring all of the elements, of taking time to consider the truth of the fire, the sound of the wind. And here comes the housekeeper. God damn it. Gosh darn it. The movement of the earth, rotations and movement, the smells of the earth, the illumination of the fire, the sound bites that hold all of the frequencies in order, air, the emotions of the water, the ability to adapt, the ability to break down, the ability to nourish. So just kind of understanding all of those elements and what they bring inside of the being is my overall comprehension, you know, of the sacred. So when I see diamonds, and let's say I say a 4 of diamonds, for me that's minerals. So that's honoring all the different ways that the minerals come together, utilizing all the elements. When I see the heart, and so diamond would be earth, minerals, right? And then so of heart, the sacred, the hearts would be emotions, would be water, right? And so that adaptability, that sacred ability to adapt to every emotion, love, hate, anger, what are the other emotions? Shit, I don't know. Inspiration. Okay. And then if I see spades, a 4 of spades, for me it's industry, because sword is sort of like you know, it elevated folks from the wisdom of the wand into the dominance of industry, and so intellect. So not just industry, but or industrial, but also intellect. So the mind. That's a bit of an ether, bit of a wind, electric is more so than wind, right? So a bit of fire, we'll call that one fire, whereas wand, we would call it wind. Wisdom, and I say wisdom, so sacred wisdom, you know, implies that when we become aware of that which is sacred, we then develop our reverence for life. And we start creating our principles, and we start utilizing our wisdom and passing it on through the generations, because because it's survival. And so the ability to watch, listen, and learn is gained from wisdom that we share, the stories that we tell, the song that we sing. Wind, wisdom, communication, sound bites that shift the universe. Okay? Again, just so you understand why I don't necessarily pick up tarot, I don't necessarily study tarot, but I don't necessarily discount it either. What I want to do is have my own mind about it. For me, that's the most important thing. So I'm going to stop with that. And we'll do a little reading on sacred. And so I want to remember sacred sites, sacred knowledge keepers. I want to honor the earning of a sacred journey. And I want to remind folks to take care of their sacred people. Now, I ain't telling you in that way to, go give all your money to the priest. That's not what I'm telling you. But if you ask a priest to say a prayer for you, make them dinner. Fix their car. Some bullshit. Exchange. Offer something. Some of us like to offer tobacco. It's a life-promoting thing. To purify life and to make sure that everything is done with a good intention. Because tobacco is, it takes the prayer as much as it purifies. It's a very powerful herb, cleans out everything. When we misuse and keep that smoke for ourselves, we become greedy, consumed with thoughts that cause imbalances in our brain. Because the wisdom is misused. Okay? So, if you are in your addiction of abusing tobacco, then the best thing to do is to at least offer 4 smokes to the sky and give back in that way. So that you're not taking it all in. Every time you think about it, don't inhale without inhaling, okay? The without inhaling eventually will lead to the strength of giving up. The inhalation of the smoke, the abuse of the smoke, the abuse of the sacred gift that takes the prayers and the thoughts away, because you don't want those thoughts swirling inside of you, because then they become worries. So it's that whole notion of, if you pray, trust your prayer, trust that your prayers to be answered, because otherwise every time you pray for the same thing again and again and again, it's as though you're saying, I don't fucking believe you. Does that make sense? All right. And the 4 directions: fire, water, air, earth. North, south, east, west, whatever the case may be. And then all the in-betweens, you know. So there's the combination of the elements and the way that they are used together that becomes just as sacred. And then you get the star pattern, right? So and each star pattern, once you get that, so it's a triangle. So that 3, how it moves into 4, how it makes 5, and then becomes, you know, multiplied. So I think in geometrics, I think in frequency, I think in sound bites, frequency, music. That's my bass. Pray I use it one of these days. That's my music. I'm supposed to play it. I created it. Alright, might hear some noise and disruption. My apologies for that. But we're gonna do it anyways because I'm stubborn like the earth, immovable. And at the same time, like the water in the earth, I am adaptable to all things considered and depending on, within balance, within reason, within. So I don't want to derail. All right, as we pick our oracle card to match our 16 cards that we pulled. All right, who is she and what does she bring to our table? She's red. And so we get root chakra, we get heart chakra. What is the 4th? Today is we're thinking about the 4th chakra, which is heart chakra. So she's got the flower and lotus, so there's love and there's intellect. So she seems to bear no real harm, arms wide open, that sort of thing. So this is me thinking about it without contemplating I'm just reading the image, frequencies, and stuff like that. I believe I've picked her before. Shadashi 26. So that's giving our year, right? And then not to mention, if I say 6 minus 2, I get 4. So sacred. I'm going to call that sacred love. Sacred passion. Either and again, I want to just reiterate that the reflection of red is green. And green, light green, represents the heart chakra, whereas this is more of an obsessive, forest green, beautiful as it is, earth-like as it is. When combined in the heart chakra, it's more of an obsessive kind of love. You want to get overly impassioned, okay? So, I like to read these after the fact because of the simple fact that it's reading and that's just annoying. I don't have these memorized because I don't want to memorize them. But with that, I do like to acknowledge, again, the sacred teachings of it. So we'll get back to that. At some point. So right now we're just going to take the time to do this as quickly as we can because we got some interruptions happening. All right. Community power. Industrial power. Community infinite connection. Mineral. The Joker is kind of a prince, kind of a, you know, the whole thing. After 10 is 11 is 2. So, to eternity. Community, positive. Passion. How do you call it? Reflection. Industry, reflection. Industry, magic. Because it is the queen, it is about nourishing. The queen, the feminine, I'm going to call it. The feminine is about the restoration of life, the giving of life, the nurturing of life, the securing the industry would mean, home, health, hearth, wealth, and health kind of thing, but making sure that it's given to all. Magic, community, industry, to eternity. So the first lay of the land talks about a sort of a battle dance, how I like to call it, and a battle dance of the duality of your wisdom versus your intellect. Again, when I say community, I mean wisdom. I'm sorry about that. I get it, all mixed up. That's wisdom. Community, I say community because in order to hold a wand or a staff, you must be chosen by the people to carry that wisdom. And so that's why I bring up community when I host the notion of wisdom and staff. And so they call it, wands. I call it staff. So there's this, in the first line, it's sort of a tether back and forth between, and then the relationship between industry and minerals. Okay, so to eternity, minerals versus power, intellect, industry, power, wisdom, community, infinite connection. So it's already saying that the 8 can separate and become 2 again. The 2 can become the 8 intertwined. It is just about how you want to use it. And so if I look at the relationship between these things, I see 2 times 7, or I see the 2 7s, and I see the 2, so I say 2 times 7. I get the 14. If I look at the 4 and the 3. I see the 4 and the 4, and it's 8, and then I see the 3 and the 3, and it's 6, and I've got the 6 that falls in the next line of wisdom. Okay, so again, separating things and putting them back together in a way that can provide growth. It's the same knowledge, it's the same instinct, it's the same wisdom, but how else can we use it to fuel a passion that provides creation from the industry that you love or hate? And how do you honor both of those things so that you get this comprehension of industry? 2 and 3 is 5. In that, you know, if I combined this one and this one, I have something new, something in between here, something in between here. Okay, so that's 5. That's harmony. So in combining, you know, I just want to, again, reiterate, in combining, see the space between, that's where the harmony of that sound, of that wind comes together. And so we have the comprehension of why is 5 harmony? Why is 3 harmony? Well, you know, in the whole happening of things in thirds, you know, there was a time when fourths were not allowed. I'm going to have another interruption. 5 of minerals comes in next. Infinite connection of passion, positive passion, eternity passion, industrial, intellect, sacred. All right, so already it's saying, you know, and then again going back to, we had it again, the 1, the 4, back to the 3, but the 3 and the 1 together equals 4. So just knowing that even though I may be ruled by my passion, I can utilize the intellect behind my passions. Even though I'm ruled by my industry, I can utilize my love of my industry and my intellect of my industry to create a harmonious rhythm. Sadoshi. Ruby red with the divine juices of life, she nourishes the body, mind, and soul with vitalizing pleasure, life, and joyfulness. Goddess Sadoshi restores self-esteem, and in the awareness of innate value, again, instinct, especially after a time of painful rejection or disappointment, again, switching your intellect into wisdom. Throughout her blessings, the desire of the heart can find fulfillment in new ways. She brings divine energy for the manifestation of wishes, magic, sacred. Her presence is the indication of the inner power to restore yourself and attract what you need into your life. Sadoshi is the fertile and creative aspect of Lalita Tempura. Shadari, red colored skin and vibrant with feminine life force. She is the power to actualize desires. The color of healing from Hinduism and Buddhism. Red is medicine for attraction and magnetism. So all day long I was, you know, vibing on 3, which was yesterday, right? the appearance of Sadashi in the reading indicates a time when your ability to attract what you want is heightened. You can relax and trust your capacity for magnetically drawing all of your desires to your world. So again, I was on this vibe of 3, which is magic for me, so that gives all of that. In the tantric teachings of Kali Ma, desire is not something to be afraid of. Desire, okay, that becomes part of your spiritual path. The benefits of developing the characteristic traits require for manifestation desire, such as relaxation, trust, enjoyment, delight, and bliss, as well as discipline, commitment, determination, focus, and positive attitude, encourage us onward, so that we refuse to give up before attaining success. From our success, we will come to realize that within one desire lies the seed of another. And I'm going to stop there because I'm going to be interrupted soon, and I don't want to interrupt it too much, but 30 minutes is often enough time for you guys to shut me up. So I just want to kind of reiterate the fact that she gave way to the meaning of magic, and then into the sacred ability to create and change the magic, okay? So into something sacred. When you manifest it, it becomes something else. So you might have used the magic, the 3, in order to produce something, but then you developed and you had a comprehension of it, and it became the 4th thing, the result of. Okay, so just kind of our relationship again from 9 into 10, from the dark before the dawn. We make a wish, and then our wish is granted. I hope